Today, we're making one of my favorite ocean platters to date. We're going to start out with general purpose epoxy. This is 50% part B, then 50% part A. With this particular one, you can do either by volume or by weight. In this case, I use volume. I find these mixing cups very convenient with the marks on the side, and the resin, once it cures, just pops right out. We mix for 2 minutes, let it go cloudy and back to clear. We let it sit for 2 minutes, and then we mix it for 2 more minutes. In cup 1, we have our white, which will be pearl and opaque white liquid. Then we're going to jump to cup 3, is going to be our blue-green pigment. And in the center cup, we will have our dark blue. And we're going to add a little extra black to that one because it wasn't dark enough on our first go. It's always better to add our dark pigments rather than have them too dark to start and have to take out, because that's not possible. Then we are going to pour our colored seashells onto the board. I'm going to use a little bit of that light blue-green and mix it around. I find it just as efficient to pour the resin onto the stones as I am at mixing the stones into the cup before pouring it. With the second option, I do find that the stones get stuck in the cup and are more difficult to get out. So I would rather pop on a pair of gloves and mix the stones in the resin together on the tray. Then we're going to pour our dark blue resin onto the platter. And make sure that the top of the platter has a nice even coat, while the bottom is going to receive that blue-green color. Now, normally I swirl a resin, but I wanted to do an experiment with this one and see how the two blues cured without me coaxing them along. So I hopped into the white. We're going to start with the white along the shore as if it's waves crashing along the beach. And then adds a couple spots where the waves are still coming ashore. And I'm just going to let the time lapse go a little bit so you guys can see what the resin does on its own. And then I'm going to come in with the heat gun and change the viscosity of that white resin. And as you can see, my table wasn't quite level, so we put a wedge under the back so that the resin didn't flow away. So we're going to go a little out of order on this one, and we're actually going to add our finish before we put on our top coat today. And partly this is because I initially wanted to rush and get this one done. And then I decided I was not happy, because you can kind of see right about here that you can see the wood grain through the blue resin, because at some point I pulled that wedge while it was curing and the resin all flowed to the top of the tray. I will put the finish on, and then we're going to go back and address that problem. To address this problem, I'm going to start with a clear coat that completely covers the surface and runs into the shells a little bit. Pretty much I'm just going for a nice clear smooth coat right now. Then I'm going to take white that is highly pigmented and pour it in the area that I need to cover. I didn't want to add any more blue because the two blues had swirled very nicely, and I didn't want to have to color match that dark blue that had been a mix of sapphire and black. I'm going to concentrate the heat in the area between the white and the clear in hopes to mimic how that initial white had bubbled and cured. And then we'll let the time lapse cure. And here are our final photos. Let me know in the comments what you think of this one. If you think the fix worked, I'm really happy with the fix. I think it's almost gave it that extra 3D effect. I couldn't have asked for the white resin to go in a better place than it did. If you're interested in purchasing this platter or one very similar to it, check out my Etsy link below. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye!